Welcome back to Trade in the Market. Today's video is a horse laying strategy that has a 96.3% strike rate and has been used for over 2 years. The first question is, why would you give this away? Well, the truth is, a strategy on its own isn't the edge. The edge is how you use it. Most people won't have the discipline, the staking or mindset to actually execute it properly over time. I'm sharing it because it's a solid framework, but the real value comes from understanding why it works and how to apply it consistently. It's a set and forget approach. You're not micromanaging trades or chasing the market. You're following a clear process and letting it play out. To use this properly, you need to understand SIQR. It stands for Sports IQ Rating, and it's designed to give you a clear, simplified view of how strong each horse actually is. Instead of you trying to piece together loads of different stats, SIQR brings it all into one number, so you can quickly identify which horses are overperforming, underperforming, or simply out of their depth. You'll see it on the race card on Sports IQ next to every runner in the last column. And this isn't something new. Mark has actually built the first version of this over 3 years ago. And since then, it's been tested, refined, and improved, and now it's fully built into the Sports IQ platform. The SIQ angle alone hits around 96.3% strike rate, but over time, Mark has added extra filters to refine it even further and improve that number. So the version you're seeing here is the foundation, not the full evolution, which is why it can be shared. Now, anyone could just go and lay the outsider or a big priced horse, but that's not what this is. When you look at the data, over 800 of these selections had odds under 10.0 and 1,547 were under 20.0. This isn't just picking off massive outsiders. This is happening across realistic market ranges. So why does this actually work? Because unlike things like the OR and the RPR, this isn't just a rating of a horse based on what it's done in the past and then given a number. SIQ rating is different. It rates the horse against each other in the race they're actually running in. Fucking simple when you think about it. Most traditional ratings are built on historical performance, how a horse ran last time, what it did in a different race against different horses in different conditions, then they carry that number forward. But racing doesn't work like that. What matters is how these horses stack up today in this race against each other. And that's exactly what SIQR is doing. It's measuring relative strength within the race itself, not in isolation. When you think about it, it's actually the most logical way to look at it. And I know the next question is, well, how is it calculated? What is the formula? That part won't be released. Not because it's anything magical, but because it's been built, tested and refined over the last 3 years. The selection process could not be simpler, because all of the hard work has already been done for you. You're not analysing 20 different things or second guessing yourself. You're just following a clear, structured approach. You're simply loading up the race card and sorting by SIQR from low to high on races with 5 or more runners. The rating is dynamic as well. It adjusts based on changing conditions and non-runners. So it's always worth checking it again closer to the off, just to make sure you're working with the most accurate picture of the race. What that does instantly is show you the weakest horse in the race, based on how they stack up against everything else running in that race. From there, your focus is on the lowest rated horse, and then it becomes a decision. You're looking at the odds and asking yourself, am I happy to take on this price? Because that's what this comes down to. Not every selection is equal, and the price you take defines your risk, your exposure, and ultimately your long-term results. Now, rather than just guessing or saying this works, we've actually tracked the data over the last 6 months to see exactly how different odds range perform. Since October 2025, using £10 fixed lays on selections priced at 10.0 or under, you would have made £335.30. That's with an average odds of 6.98, so fairly controlled, fairly steady, and a good entry point if you're starting out or want to keep variance lower. If you then extend that range to odds under 20.0 over the exact same period, the results change quite significantly. You'd be looking at £3,759.90 profit with an average odds of 11.62. So straight away you can see the trade-off. You're taking on bigger prices, which means bigger liability, but the returns increase along with it. And then you've got no max odds approach. Now let's dress this up. This is where things get aggressive. You need a proper bank. You need to be able to handle swings that most people simply won't be comfortable with. But if you had followed it over that same period, the numbers are what they are. £19,602.30 profit, with an average odds of 105.87. That's the extreme end of the spectrum. Massive prices, massive variance, but also massive upside. So what this actually shows you is that the edge is consistent across the board. But how you choose to apply it, whether you stay under 10.0, under 20.0, or go unrestricted, that's where your strategy becomes personal. That's where your bank, your risk tolerance, and your mindset come into play. As a level up to this, you can also bring an in-play angle. If you know the horse has a strong early pace, you don't have to take the price pre-race. You could actually wait and enter the trade in running. This is something Merck does a lot, because what you'll often see is horses shorten significantly early on if they break well or take up a strong position. So instead of laying at say 15s or 20s before the off, you might end up getting matched at much lower prices once the race has started, and it works both ways. Only the other day I laid a horse at 19s pre-race and Mark ended up getting it matched at around 3s in play. That's a completely different trade. The same selection, completely different risk profile and liability. But this comes down to how you want to operate. If you've got the time to sit there and watch races and trade in play, you can absolutely optimize entries and reduce your risk. If you haven't, or you just prefer a more hands-off approach, then the set and forget model works perfectly fine. And that's important to understand. All of the results I've shown you are based on set and forget, placing on Betfair at the price at the off. If we looked at how these have been performing in March so far, at odds under 20s for £10 lays, you would be in profit to the tune of £511.70. Now looking back over the results, it's not just straight up all the way. We did see a downturn in January, and there's a clear reason for that: the weather. With adverse conditions across the UK and Ireland, a lot of meetings were called off. The ones that did go ahead were often smaller fields, and more importantly, horses were running in conditions they hadn't really been tested in. That creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is where any model or edge can take a hit. Even with that, January still finished at £399.30 profit for the month. But it's worth noting, most of that came in the final third of the month, once conditions started to stabilise again. So my advice: make nay while the sun shines. When conditions are consistent, field sizes are normal, and the data is clean, that's when you press your edge. And when things get messy, you either reduce risk or sit it out. Now I know people will ask for Mark's tracker, but he's holding on to it like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic. I'm not about to wrestle it from him. So don't just trust what I'm saying, apply it yourself, record the results, and let the data speak for itself. I've been James, this has been the Horse Racing Set and Forget Profits, and we are all trading the market. And until next time, happy trading.